ladies and gentlemen. I'm at the rec center again, and I've got some interesting news, at least from a health standpoint. My wife has been trying to get me to watch this videos from this doctor from Japan about blood pressure and about the ancient Japanese wisdom on drinking too much water or drinking too many cold drinks. And that's one thing I've never tried. I've been kind of brainwashed about, oh, you gotta hydrate, Jerry. Jerry Seinfeld does this wonderful comedy bit, and I tend to agree. He goes, and everybody's at the gym, Jerry, you gotta hydrate. You're gonna shrivel up and die. You gotta hydrate, Jerry. And he said, I don't know about this hydrate business. He says, don't you think I'd be thirsty if I needed to hydrate, I would actually have a sense of thirst before that? And his friends would say, no, if you're thirsty, it's too late. You're gonna shrivel up and die. And so this was in my mind as I was watching this video from this doctor from Japan, and I can only understand about, well, he talks in his mouth. He does not move his lips, so it's kind of hard to understand. But basically, he's saying high blood pressure, and what did he else blame on it? He blamed a number of diseases on too much hydration, too much water. He said the best kind of hydration is after you've had a sweat. It's really the only time you need to get, after you've gotten rid of water. You know, I suffer from frequent urination problems. I'm getting up 3, 4, 5, 6, times in the middle of the night to go pee. And part of the problem is I am drinking fluids practically up until the time I go to bed, eating fruit, and doing all these kinds of things. And at night, my blood pressure tends to rise. And that's what I was saying. I mean, my wife has been trying to convince me a long time about, drinking cold drinks, and I put ice in everything, and I need ice. And she says, no. She said in Japan, ever since I was a little girl, they warned about drinking, cooling your insides. It's like the furnace of your body, your gut. I'm not saying hot drinks, but either lukewarm or on the warm side of drinks. Lukewarm, on the side of and ancient Chinese, the Chinese say the same thing. They don't drink cold drinks. And I'm thinking maybe there's something to this. So today I saw this doctor from Japan talking about this, and the switch clicked in my head. I think, okay, that's one thing I have not tried for my blood pressure and for my frequent urination problem. In Japanese called hinyo. I would fondly refer to my wife's husbands who are as old as I or older than I. We were constantly going to the bathroom. The Hinyo brothers. I'd say, we're the Hinyo brothers. And we'd laugh about it. But the more I think about it, this might be the answer. And this Japanese doctor, I didn't understand 100% what he was talking about because he's talking inside his mouth, didn't move his lips. I made another comedic video about that a while ago using the game Watch Your Mouth. Remember where I put my fingers in my mouth. In this game you have a device that you put in your mouth. I put these fingers in my mouth. I was trying to talk different languages, see how much I needed my lips to help me speak in any language. In Japanese, strangely enough, you don't need to use your lips that much, but when you don't, man, it's hard to, a lot of people are like that. But anyways, but this doctor, from what I gather, he's saying, when you're swollen is being swollen for whatever reason, it's fluids, runny nose, you got too many fluids. He's saying a number of eye problems listed. And he says, these are evidence that we are taking on too much fluid. Fat is mostly fluid. Somebody who is grossly obese, I mean, their fat is, it looks like jelly. It's mostly water, right? And so I just saw this video today, so I'm kind of excited about it and felt the need to talk about it. But I will, starting today, I'm going to kind of take that advice and drink after I've got how to sweat, or and I'm not gonna. I drink so much water, always. Problems with diarrhea. Growing up, back when I was eating and drinking all the bad stuff, constantly have diarrhea because I take on too many fluids, and too many fluids ruins your digestion. It dilutes your bile. That is what is used to do most of your digestion. If you dilute that, you ruin your digestion, right? So there's so many things, and I'm sure that I will. More of this will become obvious to me over time, and I'll make further YouTube videos in the future. But yes, in Japanese they call it suidoku. In other words, water poisoning. Water poisoning. If you drink, you've probably all heard this, but like they have a contest of, who can drink a gallon of water the fastest or whatever. That is poisoning your body, right? You don't need that much water. And like Jerry Seinfeld, his comedy bit, he says, don't you think I'd be thirsty first? And it's starting to make sense. So, we're into this video, 6 minutes. I'm excited about this. And see if I can solve my frequent urination in the middle of the night. And maybe improve my digestion. This business about hydration is, I think we've been fed a light of bull. And anyways, this Chinese doc, he's Japanese, but it's Chinese medicine. He's a Chinese medicine specialist. He's saying, yeah. And he said, in Japan, I have known this for a long time, but they have what they call a haramaki, it's basically like a tube top that Yakuza or many men in Japan will put around their midsection to keep it warm. That is the your furnace. You gotta keep your furnace warm. It keeps the spark of life alive and well. And so you catch a cold, and I've had a theory about this. How many gone? Like 10 minutes. This would be the last thing. But ever since for decades, thinking back on my childhood, my parents would say, you're gonna catch a cold if you go out without a jacket on or whatever. It's like we thought that there was something out there in the cold that was gonna nab us, right? All of a sudden we're gonna catch all these viruses or bacteria, outside, or somebody's gonna cough on us or sneeze on us. No. There's constantly bacteria everywhere. The reason it gets us is because when we get cold or chilled or whatever, we immediately catch colds because our defenses are down. Our boiler room has been turned off or become ineffective because we've taken too many. It's too cold, or we're drinking cold drinks all the time. So, anyways, right now this is just partially my interpretation of what the doctor's saying. But it's essentially what he's saying. But I haven't experimented on it myself yet, so I'm a little bit hesitant to talk too confidently about it. But I think I am on to something. So I will check back in about a week or so and let you know how things are going. And then I'll probably have some more information on my wife's infected molar from an old root canal. And the more we look into this, the more we're thinking, root canal. It's essentially a dead tooth. And one guy I was listening to on the internet saying your tooth is porous, and if it's not alive with the nerve going to it, it's not draining the bacteria or whatever, that process of self-cleaning is not happening on the tooth. So eventually almost every root canal is going to turn into bacteria, and that is what has happened to my wife's old root canal. And I'm thinking maybe pulling the tooth is the best answer, so we're looking into that right now. So I'll keep you posted in about a week or two, and thank you for listening. Bye-bye.